What's good, y'all? Listen, look, I'm mad I even gotta say this.
Why are we acting like this is not? Don't get your fucking pro black.
There's nothing wrong with hate. You've got to hate some things with a passion. And destruction, they must dislike and hate with a passion.
Hello. My bad. I forgot to go live on TikTok too. Hold up. Destruction, they must hate with a passion. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. We are back up in here. Hello. All right. How y'all doing? Hope you all had a wonderful day. Oh, you know what? I need to make sure my phone stay charged too, though. Let me charge my phone right here. Yeah. Put y'all right here. Hope everyone's having a wonderful evening. Where you been? I've been right here. What do you mean? Hope y'all peeped my last video I posted that was on Zion Wade. And this brother off TikTok that was saying some egregious things about young brothers in hoodies. Okay, y'all go check that out if you haven't, but after this stream. Okay, but I appreciate you go check that out. Y'all some real ones rock with brothers. But yeah, hope y'all having a wonderful week though. Today is Friday. We're going into the weekend. Lovely weekend. We got a few things to talk about, a lot of things to talk about. Actually, not a whole lot, but we got a couple things to talk about. That's why I wanted to get on here. I gotta put that B1 Afro. What you doing off of? You got off TikTok that fast? I feel like you wasn't on that live that long. I thought you was gonna be on it for a little bit longer. But we let us see it. How are you, darling? Oh, speaking of Afro Elite, y'all need to go check out For the Culture. Okay. Make sure y'all go subscribe to For the Culture page. I actually need to put up a clip. I need to go and edit a clip from the last podcast we did. I probably won't edit a clip from part one. I'm just be real, but I'm gonna edit a clip from the live we did afterwards. So y'all make sure y'all go check that out. But I'm gonna make sure I put a clip up here soon. Probably on Sunday because I don't usually post on Saturday. So I'll probably try to get a clip tomorrow and post it on Sunday. But y'all look out for that. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to For the Culture. We got some good content over there. All right. We're doing the right thing. Keeping it B1. Doing what we need to do. Okay. So if you ain't tapped in, baby, you late. Go ahead and tap into that. Okay. Now we got a few things to talk about. A lot of things. Not a lot of things. I'm just used to saying a lot of things. So I usually do have a lot of things to talk about. My last live was like 2 hours. But I ain't done it was a little over 2 hours. I ain't done a 2 hour live in a long time, but I was like, I'm not about to not talk about all this shit. I sent myself like 10 things. I was like, bro, I'm talking about every last one of these things. This is what it is. So we had a long ass live, but tonight I don't think it's gonna be as long, but we'll see. What do I want to get into fast? Let me say right quick, we try to start off light and then get heavy. Try not to do too much. Let me see what we're gonna get into first. I don't think I want to do Beyonce yet. I'm going to get out a second. I'm going to let that breathe for a second. Shout out to Afro, though. He just did a video on Beyonce. I was just on TikTok live with him actually talking about Beyonce and her Buffalo Soldier short. So we're going to get into that in a second. You know what? Let me start with this. Just because this is a follow-up from one of my last lives, too. I talked about this, I think like a week or two ago. I forgot. One of my last lives, not too long ago, though. I was talking about this, the environmental effects or environmental racism. Elon Musk has a supercomputer out in Mississippi, I believe, and it was affecting a black neighborhood out there. Shout out to you, Marcus. What's good to the chat? What's up to the mods? But yeah, Elon Musk has a supercomputer out in Mississippi, and it was affecting the black neighborhood out there. It was called Boxtown. And it was a bunch of brothers and sisters out there with like asthma, with like lung problems, respiratory problems, and stuff like that. And they was the supercomputer, which generates AI. If y'all don't know, it helps generate the AI. It's like an AI machine, basically. But it was affecting the environment around them, their water, the air, and brothers and sisters out there getting messed up. So recently, the NAACP has now decided to sue Elon Musk. Shout out to them for that, because they be on, won't do too much with the NAACP. But this is a good move. So the NAACP is suing Elon Musk's AI company, XAI, for running unapproved gas turbines in South Memphis. A black neighborhood already facing high asthma, COPD, and cancer. What is COPD? Somebody let me know in the comments. That's short for something. I'm not sure. And cancer rates up to 4 times the U.S. average. The facility is accused of worsening toxic air in the community, long plagued by pollution. So it was already not in the best conditions, and then he went over there and, of course, did it by some black folks. Put a supercomputer and just worsened the environment. So yeah, now they're suing, which is rightfully so. I love to see it. Let me just read this caption right quick to see if it gives any more information. Facility is accused of releasing thousands of tons of toxic emissions each year, worsening an area already struggling with decades of industrial pollution. This isn't just about permits, it's about protecting the community's right to clean air. Yeah, shout out to them. Let me see. Elon Musk built a massive data center. Yeah. So yeah, this is his data center out there in South Memphis, powered by dozens of gas turbines, far more than initially disclosed. These turbines emit over 2,000 tons of nitrogen oxides every year, along with other harmful pollutants like ozone and formaldehyde, adding to the toxic burden in an already overpolluted community. Long-term exposure to pollutants like nitrogen oxides, ozone, and formaldehyde can trigger or worsen serious health problems, including asthma, chronic bronchitis, lung damage, heart disease, and multiple types of cancer. For a community already suffering, those emissions don't just pollute the air, they shorten lives. And actually, when I reviewed that, I think I forgot what live that was, but y'all go back and check that out if you want to. But in that live, I actually reviewed it. It was a sister, a family, a couple sisters, and I think also like their uncle, but she was talking about how one of her family members, actually, I think 2 of her family members, one of the sisters that was getting interviewed in the documentary or the news report that was happening, and they had lost, I think, her grandmother and I think one of her uncles, if I'm not mistaken, but she had lost like a couple family members after Elon's data center was put out there. So, and I think they both died from like lung cancer, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of the diseases that's listed up here. So yeah, it's definitely a serious thing, and I hope that they get back. Honestly, I hope they get it shut down. But also I'm all for Black Americans getting a check. So yeah, go ahead and drop that check, Elon. You got it. Yeah, let me go ahead and get up in them pockets. But also I hope they get that joint moved to a different area, because I don't understand why you would I do understand it's environmental racism. But anything those I'm not really AI. I'm kind of anti-AI anyways. I'm not really for that. I see an robot, Temple Monitor. But also, even if you are going to have these data centers, they should be put in places that are not near populations, like put them in rural areas so they're not affecting people. I think that's kind of common sense. But yeah, and not only them, it's not even just Elon Musk. I reviewed also what's his name, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook. He had one as well, and it was actually some a white couple who was talking about it then, but yeah, it was still affecting their environment. And theirs, it wasn't the air more so. With them, it was the water. It was polluting their water. They didn't even have clean water. They had to literally filter everything that was coming through their water pipe. So yeah, these data centers have serious side effects, man. I ain't rocking with it, especially because it's just getting some of these millionaires more richer. All right, I'm not rocking with it, especially the white ones, YT ones for TikTok over there. But yeah. So yeah, egregious, outrageous, everything in between. Let me see. Oh, let me get into this too, since I just had the tinfoil bonnet on. This is egregious. Now I don't know. Recently in Georgia, it was in a couple places, actually. Hold up. Let me play this video. I'm gonna play this video. In a couple places, there was apparently people were seeing a I can't get this on. What's it called? Apparently, people were seeing a meteor across the sky. People saw it. People heard like a sonic boom. People they thought it was like an earthquake or something like that. I'm gonna play this video so this guy can kind of sum it up for y'all. But yeah, people seen it in like Georgia, Tennessee. I forgot a bunch of places, but yeah, it's worse. I kind of got a tinfoil bonnet on full, but let's listen.
Fireball meteor just exploded over the southeast. We've had hundreds of reports across Georgia, the Carolinas, even Tennessee and Alabama. The actual entry into the atmosphere was just southeast of Atlanta near Covington. Many folks even reported a sonic boom. Sometimes you might hear like a hissing or a buzzing noise too. Zach sent in this video showing the meteor falling kind of like this. You can see it right here. This photo from Macon, Georgia shows it going down to the left. But this video from WIFF shows it going down to the right. Every report comes with a location and a direction they were looking. By processing all that data, we get the path. That's how we get this path. Now, the GOES East weather satellite also registered a bright flash over Atlanta at about 12:20 p.m. Ordinarily, we'd say, yeah, probably lightning. But there were no storms. So this was the meteor exploding. It appears a fragmented shard may have come through the roof of a home in Henry County, Georgia, which makes sense because, again, the meteor came like this. This is the exact spot we saw that explosion. Now, when an object is still in space, it's a meteoroid. When it enters the atmosphere, it's a meteor. And if it impacts the ground or any shards do, it's a meteorite. Odds are it entered the atmosphere at more than 10, maybe even 20,000 miles per hour. As it came in, all that air resistance, the friction, led to rapid heating, and that caused ablation, or basically the burning up or melting of some of the mass on the edge of the meteor. That's why we see it. But then all that heat causes an explosion and fragmentation, and then those bits kind of cool as they come down. So if you're in Henry County, you might actually find some shards on the ground. If you do, let me know.
Yeah, so interesting. Very. Let me play this little video too, because it was a lot of people on the internet making videos locally. Let me see if I can zoom in so y'all can kind of see it a little better. But a lot of videos. All you got to do is look it up on TikTok or Instagram, whatever. But you're going to see a lot of videos from people on the grassroots that actually caught this on like the dash cams. This is one from a dash cam, but also just videos in general, people just seeing it. Yeah, egregious. So what the hell? Oh, my bad. I didn't know that looked a little egregious right there. That's what you call it. But yeah, this was just literally like 2 days ago. This was yesterday. Or was this yesterday or the day before? Yeah, this is interesting to say the least, especially in the I mean, like I said, I got the tinfoil bonnet on because some people was like, and let me say this. Some people was like, we don't know if that was, how do we know if that was really a meteor? I'm just gonna say that. Now we know that Trump jumped the gun. It said that Iran and Israel had came to some sort of middle ground. I mean, they had ceasefire, which later we found out it didn't happen. Neither one of them agreed to that. So we kind of jumped the gun and said that. And we know that Trump also had kind of hit Iran. He hit Iran's military bases. With some missiles just a few days ago as well. Now we do also know that Iran hit back, but they hit back in Qatar. They hit back on U.S. military bases in Qatar. So some people are kind of suspicious, like, how do we know this is not some sort of military attack? They trying to cover up. All I'm saying is, look, I mean, we don't know. Okay, this is what the scientists are saying that it's a meteor. I'm not here to say whether it's one or the other, but I will say, I don't put nothing past this government. I absolutely believe if something happened over here, they would try to cover it up with some sort of natural disaster or some sort of accident, some sort of, environmental, like I just wouldn't be surprised that they would try to cover it up and act like things aren't happening the way that they are. So yeah, no, I haven't seen anything from specifically Iran or anything like that. I'm not going to say I'm sure because honestly, they censor a lot of things over here. So I was about to say, I'm sure that they would let us know that. But even if they did try to let us know that, again, they censor a lot of things. So it would kind of be it would be a way for them to be able to hide that within the media. Let me say that. But yeah, that is just interesting to see that after the last couple of days. And then some people want some, tinfoil bonnet, not really tinfoil bonnet, but like spiritual, religious bonnet, tinfoil bonnet. Some people like it's the end of the world. People always say that whenever things like that happen, the niggas always say it's the end of the world. Whatever. But yeah, if it is something else, I wouldn't be surprised. Let me just say that. I wouldn't be surprised. Now let me talk about this too, because this is something I actually meant to. Oh, you know what? Speaking of tinfoil bonnets, speaking of Trump, let me just get into this right quick as well. Hold up. Now I seen this clip. Tariq posted this clip actually, and I've actually heard Trump talk about this before. But I thought this was very interesting. Let me play this skip very quick.
We can now promptly file to proceed with numerous policies that have been wrongly enjoined.
Actually, let me play this right quick before I play that. Hold up. I'm tripping. 1 second, guys. Gotta play something first. 1 second. My bad. I'm tripping. Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news, reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. We got to get that up out the way. Shout out to Afro for getting me hip to that because these niggas be playing with me. Okay. But I'm going to play that anyways, and I'm still going to put this up here, and I'm actually going to zoom out, actually, because they might still get my ass for this. I don't know what this is on Fox. I'm not sure. We're just going to zoom in a little bit and hope for the best here. But I still want to play the clip, so whatever. It is what it is.
Joined on a nationwide basis. And some of the cases we're talking about would be ending birthright citizenship, which now comes to the fore. That was meant for the babies of slaves. It wasn't meant for people trying to scam the system and come into the country on a vacation. This was, in fact, it was the same date, the exact same date, the end of the Civil War. It was meant for the babies of slaves, and it's so clean and so obvious. But this lets us go there and finally win that case because hundreds of thousands of people are pouring into our country under birthright citizenship, and it wasn't meant for that reason. It was meant for the babies of slaves. So thanks to this decision, we can now properly file to proceed with these numerous policies and those that have been wrongly enjoined on a nationwide basis, including birthright citizenship, ending sanctuary city funding, suspending refugee resettlement, freezing unnecessary funding, stopping federal taxpayers from paying for transgender surgeries, and numerous other priorities of the American people. We have so many of them. I have a whole list. I'm not going to bore you, and I'm going to have Pam get up and say a few words, but there's really, she can talk as long as she wants because this is a very important decision. This is a decision that covers a tremendous amount of territory. But I want to just thank, again, the Supreme Court for this ruling. It's a giant. It's a giant. And they should be very proud, and our country should be very proud of the Supreme Court. We can now.
Yeah, so shout out to the FBA's on code that's rocking with this because I love it. I'm not going to, I didn't even peep that he said something about in the transgender surgeries and things. Let me be careful. Yeah, what's called? I didn't even hear the part we were saying that was going to affect LGBT surgeries and things of that nature. But I'm rocking with that. Okay, this is going to aid in our delineation, baby. I'm cool with that. Okay, it's a lot of other countries, and this is something that many really people on the right or conservatives make. A lot of countries, most countries, really, are the way to citizenship there is not just dropping a baby. Okay, the fact that people can come over here and drop these anchor babies, and then moreover, they have these anchor babies and they grow up and think that they are equivalent to actual foundational Black Americans. We're not rocking with that. Okay, we're not. That has to come to a halt, especially because we're on our reparations tip. We're trying to get these reparations popping. We are delineating. So yes. This is going to aid in that, baby. Yeah, it's time for y'all to get your paperwork right. All right, correct some of them things on that paperwork and be real specific about where your lineage come from. This is going to aid in that. So I mean, I'm not. Hey, look, I'm not mad at that at all. Kamala wouldn't have did it. So I mean, hey, I'm loving that. Honestly, that is something that we very much need in to push for our reparations specifically, but also. Again, for our delineation, we have to be specific about the terms that we use and who we are, and be specific about where we come from. Okay, because everybody love to talk about African Americans, and that African American term is getting thrown out the fucking window. It's too many Africans that come over here that's born in America, and they're African Americans. Okay, so yeah, as foundational Black Americans, that is something that will help in our delineation. I'm 100% cool with that, baby. I'm cool with that. I'm not mad at it. And some people, some of these liberals is kind of in an uproar about it. And some of the tethers and, things of that nature, people of that nature, should I say. But I mean, hey, it is what it is. Again, other countries are not allowing that. You cannot just go there and think you're a citizen because you had a baby there. Or your baby, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's not, unless you have a baby with someone there, which is different. But no, you're not about to just go to another country with somebody else and have a child, and now they have claims to that land. That's not how that's not how it should work, and that's how it don't work for many countries. So why should we be any different? I'm definitely with that. But speaking of American citizens, should I say, I also seen this about him as well. Hold on, let me read this. So after Donald Trump reinstated a travel ban targeting 12 countries, including Chad, citing high visa overstay rates and weak security screening systems, Chad swiftly responded by suspending all visas for American citizens. So this is a country in Africa. who was like, we standing on business. If you ain't gonna let us over there, if you suspending our visas, then we gonna take away y'all. We suspending y'all. So the president, let me not mess up his name, Muhammad Idris Debe. Something on that. I feel like I'm on the right lines of that. Called it an act of reciprocity, stating that while Chad may not have the same resources as the U.S., it still has its dignity and pride. The move highlights growing diplomatic tension as many African nations and human rights groups criticize the ban as a discriminatory and damaging to international relations. I mean, travel bans, I mean, I'm gonna say this. I'm not mad at him bringing that same energy back, but I will say it don't hit as hard. You know what I'm saying? Trump just used that the other day. He said he used that for Iran when they responded to his attacks, his missile attacks, and attacked Qatar. He was like, that was a weak ass response. I'm not gonna say this is a weak ass response, but it's just not as an effective response because niggas ain't fighting to get over there to Chad. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Like he said it himself. We don't got as many resources, but we got our dignity and pride. I rock with the fact that you keeping your dignity and pride, but people ain't fighting to get over there like they fighting to get over here. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of don't hit the same. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm not. You know, I don't even know. So I mean, but I'm not mad at him standing on business and clapping back at Trump for that. You know what I'm saying? I do think some of these African nations, again, y'all need to stand on business anyway. Okay, y'all need to be getting y'all independence out. Shout out to the brother. What's the brother name? What's the brother name that's over there? What's the brother name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. Is he the president? I'm not gonna mess up his title, but he's going viral. He's going hella viral right now. What's his name? I just seen the damn. Let me just see something. Let me see if I find it. He's going hella viral right now. Let me see. Nah, see, I was gonna mess that up. It's not South Africa. What part of Africa is he in? Let me see. Is it? Let me just see. It's like Abraham Tahor or Ray. Y'all know who I'm talking about. What's his name? Y'all know who I'm talking about. What's his name? I feel like I might be mispronouncing it a little bit, but I rock with what he's doing. That's it right there. Ibrahim Traore. I'm not sure how you pronounce that, but yeah, shout out to that brother. He over there standing on African business, okay, trying to get their and Burkina Faso. I've heard of him as well. But yeah, they over there standing on African business, okay, trying to get their countries together, and unify a lot of their countries as well. So I mean, I'm with that. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to get the colonizers out. Hey, look, I'm cool for that. That's what I'm like. I don't think the response hits as hard, but I respect it. You know what I'm saying? I respect it for what he's trying to do. I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? That's all right. That's what's up. Although again, it's not the same. I mean, I'm not, trying to get him over that. No, it is what it is. Now, right quick before I get into this story, actually, no, let's get into that story first. I'll talk about it afterwards. I meant to actually been talk about this, which is crazy. Hold up. Where is this article at? It's a sister. Sister named Shanteari Young. I don't want to play this clip. I might get copyrighted, but I am going to read a little article on it, and I'll read the caption to this. Now, a sister, this is actually in the DMV. Well, not technically because it happened in Baltimore. It's not really the DMV, but it happened in Maryland. Let me say that. A sister tried to unalive. Let me say that. She I don't know if I can say that on TikTok. I might have to get a hell of off here. How long I've been on here? 23 minutes. Y'all got 7 minutes left. Y'all got to come over to YouTube. Sister tried to unalive her husband because she ran a daycare center, and she was told, or she found out information that her husband at the time was abusing children, okay, at her daycare center. And so, yeah, when she found that information out, she got that, and yeah, okay, on that ass, okay, as she should, respectfully, okay. Now, this was actually a couple years ago. That's why, like, I think I don't know if I did talk about this a couple years ago. I know I've been heard of this case. But I don't know if I recently done any updates on it. But recently there was an update. Now, let me read this caption. Shanteari Young, the daycare owner who blanked her husband after discovering he was sexually abusing her children at her facility has been released from prison, because that's the update. She's been released. It's a blessing. Young, who moved to a halfway house on Tuesday, told WJZ News she was eager to rebuild her life in Maryland, but acknowledged she may need to complete a period of home confinement before her sentence officially ends in December. Yeah, I was about to say she wasn't supposed to get out until December, but it may be because of this other update as well that I'm about to get into. She was arrested in July of 2022 after confronting her then husband, former Baltimore City police officer. Another crazy thing, her husband was a damn Baltimore police officer. Crazy. Egregious, outrage, everything in between. James Weems, over allegations of child, I don't know if I can say it on YouTube, but child, at Little Kids Castle. That's what her daycare was called, Little Kids Castle. Her daycare in Owings Mills. The conversation escalated, resulting in young pew-pewing Weems. Weems was later found guilty of rape, sexual abuse of a minor, and showing obscene material to a minor. He was sentenced to life in prison. I thank everybody for the support. This is what she said. I thank everybody for the support that they have given me. Young said, it has really helped me get through my prison sentence, and I'm just really thankful for that. I'm glad to be out and at a halfway house, and I'm just looking forward to rebuilding and giving back to the community like I was before. So yeah, shout out to the sister.
Can help children.
Oh, I don't want to get but shout out to the sister. This is her right here. Okay. And this is her husband. Hold up.
Prison. That is the sentence.
I'm not going to copy that. Let's get into the article. I'm going to pull up the article for that, for her husband. But yeah, very egregious story. Her damn husband was a police officer doing these egregious acts to children. Hold on, let me pull this up right quick. But he was found guilty, and I think that's a part of the reason why she may have gotten out early. Let me see if they mentioned it in an article. But she testified against him in court. Let's see. A man who was actually abused a 10-year-old girl at his wife's daycare in Owings Mill in a case that led to her blank him, was sentenced on Monday to life in prison. Baltimore City Circuit Judge Michael J. Oh, come on. Why do y'all always do this to me? Why do y'all always do this to me? Why do y'all always do this to me? Every time I send an article to myself, give me 1 second. Why do I always send an article and I read it and I be reading the whole article? Okay, get this story cool. Then I go back to the article and y'all niggas want me to subscribe for $1. God damn. God damn. Egregious. Hold up. Let me pull up another article, man. Why do y'all do this every time? This is like the third time this has happened to me, man. Be blowing me. Okay, let me pull up this one. Sorry. Outrage, egregious, everything between. Let's try this one more time. Oh, what just happened? Okay, let's try this again. Yeah. Blowing me. So, a retired Baltimore police officer was sentenced to life in prison Monday for actually abusing children in his former wife's daycare record show. In November of 2024, retired officer James Weems was found guilty of rape, actual abuse of a minor, and showing obscene matter to a minor. I feel like this is getting a little heavy. What time is it? I'm about to get off. I can't keep blanking my words out, man. It's good. Y'all come over to YouTube. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. I gotta get them off here. It's too much. It's too egregious. Story is too egregious. I can't even risk it on TikTok. Them niggas gonna take me off immediately. All right. According to court records, Weems' victims attended Little Kids Castle, a daycare in Owings Mills that was owned by his former wife, Shanteari Young. Weems drove the van for the daycare. Court records show that Weems admitted to looking at what's the other word we use for that? Pornography while taking children to school. However, he claimed that he never intentionally showed the children or touched anyone. Absolutely outrageous. Why the hell would you be looking at, like, the fact that you thought that was going to sound better? I don't know if he thought, because he's a brother in blue, that he was going to catch some slack, but nigga, they know you a nigga. I know some of these Negroes get up in these get in these blue uniforms and think that blue is going to protect them more than that black. They gonna see that blue before that black, but they always gonna see that black first, okay? So you do some egregious shit like that, they're gonna drag you through the mud. They're gonna bury your ass under the jail if they can, okay? So you trying to say that I was looking at that while taking the children to school, but he never intentionally showed the children or touched anyone? Bullshit. Okay, even outside of the white supremacist view, that's just creepy as hell. Nigga, you look guilty. Guilty as charged. During the trial, an uncle of one of the victims testified that the victim's family found pornography on her tablet, and she told him Mr. James first showed it to her. The victim was 10 at the time of the abuse. The initial 2022 incident accused Williams of abusing at least 3 children at the daycare. After the guilty verdict, prosecutors said that they planned to learn Weems' sentence before deciding whether or not to bring out charges. To bring out the charges. Weems' former wife, Young, also testified against him during the trial. She had been sentenced to 4 years in prison for shooting Weems after learning about the allegations. During the trial, Young was not allowed to tell the jury that she had shot Weems. Miss Weems, but wouldn't they already know? That was a public case, though. So, okay, but I guess they just couldn't touch on it, though, but still. Miss Williams did something that she felt was worth it to protect those children, and she's been held accountable. Now it's his turn. Yeah, and honestly, I don't even think she should have went to jail for that shit, especially knowing that she should have got exonerated. After this happened, she need to be pardoned or exonerated. Something needs to happen because clearly she was right. So she was justified in the act of trying to protect those children. She took justice into her own hands. It wasn't legal, blah, 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 but she was protecting children. I'm always behind somebody that's protecting children, especially black children. That's egregious. For you to be somebody that trusted, so the parents trusted you to bring their children back and forth safely, and you are on the bus driving them, allegedly looking at pornography, even if you're not showing them. And then you get accused of abusing 4 of the children, and then later on you actually are found guilty of of abusing a child. Yeah, I think she deserves some sort of exoneration or pardon. Trump need to get up on that. Okay. Let me see. During her testimony, Young recalled the day she learned about the allegations, saying she was overwhelmed and distressed. On the other hand, she said Weems was calm and did not ask any questions. In March, the parent of the victim filed a civil lawsuit to hold Weems financially accountable. The lawsuit alleged negligence and false imprisonment of the victim after she broke down in tears during the trial. According to the lawsuit, the victim faced nightmares and headaches following the ordeal. It has been devastating. Yeah, the least you can do is call up a check. Go ahead, call for up that 401k. You ain't gonna need it. Your ass going to jail for life. You ain't getting out of that joint. It has been a devastating and catastrophic experience. Said attorney Jonathan Scoyer. These are lifelong injuries. This young lady confronted what happened in court. Whether she can emotionally confront what happened in her life remains to be seen. Young was also named as a defendant in a lawsuit which alleges that the daycare should have known Weems was addicted to internet porn and would habitually watch porn every chance he had. Wow. Hold on. They said the daycare should have known. Shouldn't the police department have known that? This nigga was a cop. If anybody should have known that, I think they should know that, not the fucking daycare. Maybe the wife, but that's kind of depending on if she even knew that. And I would say, not saying if she did know or not, if he was addicted to that, or if he even watched it frequently. That's not proof of, like child abuse. Negroes, grown men, grown people, honestly, watch that. You know what I'm saying? So, to each their own. She may have not been able to make that connection there, which is egregious because, over sexualization is kind of I'm not going to say that's a direct correlation, but it can be. You know what I'm saying? The lawsuit said the daycare's management should have known Weems was not fit to be near children without supervision. Absolutely outrageous, everything between. Well, I'm gonna say this: the sooner she found out he wasn't fit, she got up on his ass. Okay, and try to get him up out of there. So again, shout out to the sister for doing what she felt she needed to do and protecting them children when she could. I hope she can exonerate. I hope she gets some sort of pardon, something to that degree. And I hope that she gets a GoFundMe or something, because there was a lot of people in the comments that were saying that they would give money to her, that they wanted to help her out, send her a cash up, because that was an honorable thing to do, especially for your husband. Some people might have tried to find sympathy in that. Like, it's the person you love. She said, "Ain't no way in the hell you messing with these innocent children, and I done trusted you with my business, with these parents who entrusted me, and I entrusted you, and now you're abusing that privilege." So yeah, I mean, I completely understand the rage that she probably felt from that. Shout out to the sister. She was on code. Honestly, we love to see it. Shout out to her. Now let me get into this too. Hold up. Let me get into this right quick. Let me get into this because, like I said, I was just on hold up, let me pull it up. I gotta pull up this picture first. But I was just on Afro Elite's live talking about this. Hold up. On a live panel for a little bit. Y'all go check out Afro's video talking about this as well. He did a great job breaking it down. But right now, or recently, right now too, because a lot of people are still talking about it. But Beyonce recently wore a Buffalo Soldier shirt. Okay. Now, she wore the shirt to one of her, I think, but this is one of her last concerts. This is in Paris. This is in Paris, France, actually. So she was overseas repping the lineage. We love to see it. And right now, there's a lot of people highly upset with her wearing this shirt. Okay, people are saying that she's supporting it. As a matter of fact, can I read some of these comments? There was a hella comments in here that was on bullshit. My sister, you need historians and educators on your team. That shirt, ma'am, someone on your team should have done a triple check. That's tone deaf as hell. The Buffalo Soldiers were foot soldiers of colonization. Beyonce using her platform to glorify them isn't just ignorant. It's embarrassing. It screams, I support anything associated with Black history, even if it's inhumane. Not every piece of Black history is honorable just because it's Black. Is that an FBA? Probably not. Let me see. Nah, I think she might be one of these fake ass $5 ass Indians anyway. Study Native American history. So she has so many replies under this. And mind you, the comments are still on. That's one thing I do love. I'm not going to even lie. Beyonce stand on business. She stand on, because a lot of these Negroes would have cut the comments off after the first 100. After the first couple hundred, they would just cut the comments off and then cut the comments off the next couple posts until people start talking about it and then, let people start flowing back in. She let the comments still on. So the comments it's filled with people mad as hell about this damn shirt. Not supporting a group of people who slaughtered indigenous people, which we are the indigenous people, but we're gonna get to that. So yeah, a lot of people are upset that she wore this Buffalo Soldier shirt. They're saying that she's supporting white supremacy and colonization, because some of these Buffalo Soldiers unalived some of the quote unquote natives and pushed forth the Western colonization for the U.S. Now, I just want to play this before I even give my little 2 cents on this. Let me just play a couple of responses because just two in particular. One, because I thought it was kind of funny, and two, because I like the perspective of this one too. I like the perspective of both, but let me just play these right quick. Because Black Americans standing on business. A lot of FBAs are standing on business with this and standing behind Beyonce. Not only because it's just Beyonce, because Beyonce has always had a strong grassroots support from Black Americans, but also because a lot of us who are delineating love the fact that she's repping the culture. She's heavily repping our culture, repping our heritage, repping our lineage. She's been repping for the ancestors. We love to see it, especially within this whole era of Cowboy Carter. And she got them people mad. She got a lot of people mad because she repping our history. So yeah, let me just play this right quick.
Americans are not going to be results of accountability. You don't know your own history, so you get confused when Black people talk about ours. The Buffalo Soldiers were fighting for the United States. Y'all was fighting for the Confederacy. Y'all don't want to talk about how the Chickasaw, the Cree, the Cherokee all signed documents with the Confederacy, owned slaves, and voted to keep Jim Crow fucking laws. You niggas is not well. You are not well. Y'all was just as bad as them white folks, and you want me to be mad that you participated in a genocide? You participated in terrorism, the demise of Black people, and participated in the enslavement and the chattel slavery of Blacks, as well as segregation and racism to conform to the white man. Y'all niggas is just as bad, please.
Oh, and I hope. So yeah, brothers and sisters ain't feeling it. Hold on, let me play this other one too. Brothers and sisters ain't feeling the nonsense, baby. We ain't feeling the nonsense. Hold up. Give me 1 second. Let me play this second one, too. We ain't feeling the nonsense, baby. Because y'all love to half-ass history. A lot of these, especially these $5 ass idiots, they love to half-ass history.
And see, this is why I told people to research the Buffalo Soldiers and research the tribes they were going after. This sister here did the research. She went into ChatGPT, she went into Google searching, and I told people, search it out. Literally every tribe this Buffalo Soldiers went after, because my great uncle, Freeman McNeil, was a Buffalo Soldier. And the story passed down was that the natives did not respect the 13th Amendment. They had a lot of us in slavery long years, decades after the fucking 13th Amendment was goddamn passed. For example, Hollywood actor Don Cheadle thought white people enslaved his folks. No, it was a freaking Chickasaw who had them in slavery almost 50 years after the 13th Amendment was already passed. That's the other side of the story. That's why the Buffalo Soldiers did it. That's the context. See, we have what we call temporal bias or time bias. Put yourself in their shoes at that time. And see, this is why.
And I love that he said that time bias. I think that's a great point because you got some people who's like, oh, I was, like I said, I was on a panel, and not just on that panel with Afro, but even some of the responses I've been seeing, even the responses from Beyonce's post. Oh, well, it wasn't the five civilized tribes, and it wasn't those natives that they were attacking. Those weren't the natives that were enslaving black people. And nigga, you again, that shows the time bias. Because back then, when you are a enslaved person coming out of slavery, and your only options is for some of us to go back or be a sharecropper, which was only a step above, or to join the military, which actually gave you at least some level of privilege. What do you think your choice would have been? And then, moreover, knowing that some of these tribes, because we don't know all the different, a lot of these motherfuckers look alike, okay? So not knowing some of the differences in some of the tribes, baby, all we know is people that look like you help the people that also don't look like us enslave us. So yeah, I'm ready to get back. I mean, even if it wasn't specifically your tribe, it was a tribe that was close enough. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, the level, again, the level of privilege that some people are saying are speaking from now, or even time bias, like the brother said, it's like, bro, like, I mean, how do you think they were thinking, especially in a survival state that they were in, such an egregious survival state that they were in? How do you think they were cherry picking what tribes, or did it really only matter for the tribes that were fighting with us? Did it really only matter for the black natives that were with us? The non-black natives, quote unquote. Do you really think we were sitting there trying to pick out who was who? Do you even think we had the privilege or the time to really pick out who was who? And then moreover, these are soldiers. This isn't just some sort of black militia group that just came out of nowhere. These are soldiers empowered by the U.S. Army who are taking orders. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I don't want to play, I forgot I had this other sister too. I love the way she put this. Let me play hers as well. I actually love the perspective she came from as well. I'm gonna play hers. Damn, I didn't realize her shit was so long. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put hers in like 2 times speed. Hold up, her shit like 7 minutes. I don't know if I'm gonna play that whole thing. I didn't even realize that, but I do want to play hers though. She made a very good point. Hold up, let me see. How can I do this? Yeah, we're gonna speed this up. We gotta speed this up. Yeah, I'm sorry.
What if I told you that black survival has always been criminal?
That might be too fast for y'all. That's fast enough. That's perfect for me, but that might be too fast. Let me be considerate.
That no matter how we live, how we rise, or how we speak, our very existence is either erased or weaponized. Let's talk about the Buffalo Soldiers. Let's talk about Beyonce. And let's talk about the hypocrisy that runs through the veins of this country like blood through a wound that never heals. Now, I want to say up front, this talk may be lengthy, but it's necessary. And if we have to speed it up, we can. Because truth doesn't need to be long to be powerful. It just needs to be heard. The Buffalo Soldiers were not heroes in the way America tells it. They were not saints. They were not symbols of patriotism. They were survivors. Men who had just come out of bondage, who had nowhere to go, no economic opportunities, and no protection from a system that had once legally owned them. So they made a choice, a difficult, desperate choice, to join the U.S. Army. Not because they believed in America, but because they were hungry, hunted, and needed a way out. The U.S. government offered them 3 meals a day, a uniform, and a little pay. Not freedom, but a taste of structure in a country that had denied them everything. So they became tools of the empire, not by allegiance, but by necessity. And for that, we call them villains. For that, we blame them for helping to push Native Americans onto reservations, as if the architects of genocide wore brown skin, as if the orders came from them. We say they were wrong. But were they any more wrong than the white soldiers they served under? Are they any more responsible for American imperialism than the very nation that used them, erased them, and then rewrote their legacy? You see, in America, if a white man goes to war, no matter what war, no matter how unjust, he returns a hero. We build him monuments. We write him into textbooks. We give him discounts, job preference, a flag over his coffin, and a moment of silence at a football game. But if a black man, poor and desperate, joins that same army under even harsher circumstances, his legacy is debated, dissected, diminished. He becomes complacent, never heroic, never justified. That's the double standards of heroism in this country, one rooted in race, power, and selective memory. Which brings me to Beyonce. When Beyonce walked out wearing a Buffalo Soldier shirt, she wasn't just making a statement, a fashion statement. She was making a political one, a cultural one, a historical one. And the backlash was immediate. People accused her of glorifying a genocide, of aligning with oppression, of endorsing the violent legacy of the U.S. military. But when white artists drape themselves in Americana, when they wear camouflage, wave flags, perform at halftime shows with jets flying overhead, they are called patriotic. They are called brave. So why is it that when a black woman dares to acknowledge a chapter of her own history, is suddenly unacceptable, suddenly divisive, suddenly radical? Because in America, black expression is always political, even when it's unspoken. And when it's spoken, when it's intentional and loud and unapologetic, it becomes dangerous. Beyonce's shirt was dangerous, not because of what it said, but because of what it reminded people. That black people have never just survived. We've strategized, we've adapted, we've resisted. The Buffalo Soldiers didn't have the luxury of innocence. They did what they had to do. And in doing so, they laid the foundation for other black soldiers who would one day fight in wars started by white men and finally be seen as heroes. But even then, only sometimes. America loves to throw rocks and hide its hands. It starts the wars, send the poor to fight them, then decides who gets to come home with dignity and who gets to be forgotten.
Absolutely. Shout out to the sister. She got on the Black American Heritage flag, so she is, I'm assuming, FBA. But yeah, I love that perspective. Okay. Number one, Beyonce didn't even give any context to why she put on that shirt. Okay. So just from face value, what I got from it, just seeing it, knowing that she's on a Cowboy Carter tour, again, knowing that she's been putting on File Lineage and our heritage these last couple years specifically, I immediately thought that's a shout out to the ancestors. Okay, that's a shout out to the sacrifices made from our ancestors. We love to see it. That's a blessing. That's that she's paying homage. That's what's up. I'm not mad at that. But the fact that some of these people automatically gravitate to, oh, well, you're supporting genocide, you're aligning yourself with white supremacy, you're da-da-da-da, and not only just that, but the disrespect by some of these non-black people specifically that y'all have the audacity to have for our ancestors. It's like, shut your mouth. Like, you can't even imagine the predicament our ancestors was in to choose to even join a military, to join a force, to join a group that had firsthand in your oppression. You don't even understand the mentality that goes within that. You don't even understand, like, so the privilege of you to sit up here and try to act like, oh yeah, they were just tools of white supremacy. They were supporting genocide and they were terroristic. And it's like, focus your energy on the correct problem, which many of y'all don't want to do because you're cowards. Many of y'all want to assimilate to the very system you trying to act like they was a part of. You're trying to villainize them for being a part of. Why don't you focus your energy on that system, on the real oppressors, on the people that actually had power during that time, okay? Because our brothers and sisters at that time didn't have that power. They were not in control. The only thing we had in control of is what choice we can. Is the very few options that the white supremacists gave us, unfortunately. So it's like some of y'all real life is getting a real disrespectful. Okay, with the way y'all are talking about the Buffalo Soldiers, and y'all are forgetting that is a part of our history, very much a part of our history. And mind you, I'm not even the type that's for Black Americans. I'm not even for that. I'm not joining no damn military. I'm not in alignment with that. Okay. However, I don't judge again the decisions made that brought us to this place. This is a place of privilege I'm in to say, I'm never joining the military. I don't think black people, that's a place of privilege. Back then, Negroes, we didn't have too many Negroes thinking like that because they didn't have that privilege. There wasn't too many options. You was about to be a sharecropper? Did you want to be that? Again, that was getting a cents to a fucking dollar. Damn near slavery. So it's like, to not understand the context, to just jump on, like it just shows again the level of white supremacist assimilation that you've kind of came to, that some of these groups have came to, especially these $5 ass Indians, some of these red Indians, these people that are trying to chastise Beyoncé in such an egregious way. Act like, and then you got people in the comments, she's overrated. This is ridiculous. They want to get into this capitalist bullshit. Oh, y'all want to support billionaires and da-da-da-da-da. And she's what was they calling her, fascist? And I'm not even trying to hear all that nonsense. I'm sorry. Because if she was supporting, if it was some sort of LGBT person up there, if it was some sort of action, some other red native or something, y'all wouldn't have an issue. There would be no issue. But as soon as she brings up something that's a part of our history and a part of our lineage that y'all can find a way to nitpick at, you do so. It's anti-black. Let's just get to the meat of it. A lot of y'all are just anti-black. A lot of y'all just don't like our history. You don't want our history at the forefront, and you don't want us delineating. Some of these Negroes that's on her line up here, some of these tethers specifically, not Negroes. When you think of Negroes, you think about Black Americans. Let me keep it specific. Some of these non-Black Americans, some of these tethers that's trying to go on Beyonce, it's like, yo, this ain't even your history to be like, where was your people at during the time? Because you can't relate either. You know, it's like, yeah, mind your business. And for some of y'all, get the fuck over it. Because y'all love to say get over slavery. It happened so long ago. Ain't no more racism. We all got equal opportunity. Yeah. So get the fuck over it. Honestly, it is what it is. They had to do what they had to do. And don't diminish what they did. Because they were more, and I'm gonna pull up this article as well. Because they were more than just quote unquote your typical soldiers. Now, let me just put this out there as well. Anytime Black Americans have joined the military force, we have always impacted it in we've always had a major impact in the military. No matter what type of, what level of Air Force, whether that's NASA, whether it's US, whether that's Marines, no matter what part of the military we're in, we have a significant effect on it. In a good way, in a positive way. We help win wars around this motherfucker. Now, whether you want us fighting those wars, whether we should be fighting wars, whatever your political stance is your political stance. But there is an undeniable fact that Black Americans' plight in the military is probably one of the most significant things that's helped the foundation of building America in the military force that it is today. So, again, we're not going to knock down the plight of our ancestors. We're not going to scrutinize them over situations that we can't even really relate to, some of us, because of the amount of privilege of their sacrifices have gotten us to today. Okay, let me read a little bit about them. It's a specific part too I wanted to read over here. I wanted to read on here. Let me see. Let me see. Who became as the Buffalo Soldiers? There are differing theories regarding the origin of the nickname. Oh, this is interesting. One is that the Plains Indians who fought the Buffalo Soldiers thought that their dark curly hair resembled the fur of the buffalo. Shout out to it's a brother in Texas. I'm gonna pull it up too. It's a brother in Texas. Before I even read that, I don't want to even forget about it. It's a brother in Texas. Let me see. Buffalo Soldiers Museum. For those of my FBAs out in Texas, y'all need to go support this brother. Y'all need to go support this brother because he has a museum in Texas, actually. Before I even get to this, let me pull this up actually right quick before I even start reading this. It's a brother in Texas who has a museum specifically dedicated to Buffalo Soldiers, okay, in Texas, all right? So y'all should go out there and support it. The hours are from 10 to 4 p.m. Y'all go out. What is this called? Buffalo Soldier National Museum. Y'all go out and support this brother's museum. He's a foundational Black American, and not only is it dedicated to Buffalo Soldiers, but it's also dedicated to Black Americans inside the military in general. So he goes into the Marines, the Navy, he goes into Black people in NASA. Yeah, so y'all go out and check that out. Y'all, somebody do a TikTok review or something. Put it on the internet so it can go around. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that's something a lot of Black people need to learn about. And I would play this. I just don't know. This is actually the brother right here is talking about it. He's giving a little history, but I don't know if I'm gonna get copyrighted. So We're gonna go back to the article. I'm not sure, but y'all make sure y'all go check that out. Okay, it's called the Buffalo Soldiers National Museum. I'm gonna definitely have to check this out if I can ever make my way back down to Texas, which I've been meaning to do for a while. Actually, I've been meaning to go back to Texas for a minute. So hopefully I can make my way back out there, and when I do, I can go visit that museum. But hold up, is this the right article? This is not the right article. That's not the one I was about to pull up. Hold up. This the other one I was gonna pull up. 2 seconds. Let me switch back. Okay. Dark curly hair resembled the fur of the buffalo. Another is that their bravery and ferocity in battle reminded the Indians of the way the buffalo fought. The way the buffalo fought. Whatever the reason, the soldiers considered the name high praise, as buffalo were deeply respected by the native peoples of the Great Plains. And as a matter of fact, the brother in that video I was about to play, he said that it originally started off as, if I'm not mistaken, Buffalo Wild. I think it originally stemmed from the nickname Buffalo Wild, and it was adapted into Buffalo Soldiers. But he said the same thing is because of the curly hair of the buffalo, and because of the way that they fought. Initially, the Buffalo Soldiers regimes were commanded by whites and African American troops. Often face extreme racial prejudice from the army establishment. So mind you, y'all sit out here talking about us and how we support white supremacy and our ancestors supported white supremacy and all some shit. We were still suffering through anti-black racism. We were still having to deal with anti-black racism. Yeah, egregious. Many officers, including George Armstrong Custer, refused to command black regimes, even though it cost them promotions and ranks. In addition, African Americans could only serve west of the Mississippi River because many whites didn't want to see armed black soldiers in or near their communities. And in areas where Buffalo soldiers were stationed, they sometimes suffered deadly violence at the hands of civilians. So while you're worried about us knocking off some damn y'all ancestors, our ancestors will still get knocked off by the civilians that we supposed to be fighting for. Yeah, egregious. So it was a double-edged fucking sword, and you want to sit here and chastise our ancestors? Please miss me. Please miss me. I'm not trying to hear that. The Buffalo Soldiers' main duty was support the nation's westward expansion by protecting settlers, building roads and other infrastructure, and guarding the U.S. mail. Now, again, to diminish everything that they did and just bring it down to, well, they were supporting genocide, they were tools of white supremacy, and not even acknowledge that they were building roads, they were building telegraphs, they were guarding the U.S. mail, which was very key back then. How are we going to sit up here and act like we can't acknowledge our history when they were doing very great things? We can talk about that. Y'all can talk about how y'all were affected, but let's talk about the other contributions that they had as well. Don't try to bring them down to just, they were committing genocide. They were just being tools. It's like, that's hella disrespectful, man. It's hella disrespectful. They served at a variety of posts in the Southwest and Great Plains, taking part in most of the military campaigns during the decades-long Indian Wars, during which they complied in distinguished record with 18 Buffalo soldiers awarded the Medal of Honor. Wow. 18 of them was awarded the Medal of Honor. This exceptional performance helped to overcome resistance to the idea of Black Army officers, paving the way for the first African-American graduate from the West Point Military Academy, Henry O. Flipper. Hold up, where's the part I wanted to say? This is talking about Henry O. Flipper, who was born into slavery. A brother who was born into slavery. Yeah. During Reconstruction, he attended Atlanta. Hold up, that's not the part I wanted to get to. I'm sorry, not to disrespect. Shout out to Henry Flipper. Overcame these obstacles. 1877, he became a group of graduate. Where's the part? Okay, here we go. Much attention is given to the irony of African American soldiers fighting Native people on behalf of the government that accepted neither group as equals. But at the time, although they accepted neither group as equals, there was still a hierarchy. They accepted them, some of them at least, as a buffer class. But at the time, the availability of information was limited about the extent of the U.S. government's often genocidal policies towards Native Americans. Now, listen to that. But at the time, because we were not in control, we are not at the heads of these military regimes, the availability of information was limited about the extent of the U.S. government's often genocidal policies towards them, to Native Americans. So a lot of these brothers didn't even honestly know about some of the genocidal policies or some of the genocidal acts that were taking place. In addition, African-American soldiers had recently found themselves facing Native Americans during the Civil War. So just right before then, they was facing Native Americans during the Civil War because some tribes fought for the Confederacy. Yeah. Again, so you're sitting here, you want me to cherry pick after I just got out of slavery. After some of not only just me, I just got out of slavery. The rest of these brothers just got out of slavery. Some of our family are still in slavery by some of the very people that we're supposedly committing genocide on. They're aiding in our genocide. Some of them, whether you want to say it was those tribes or not, but some of them were aiding in our genocide, and you want to sit up here and tell me that they should be shamed, that they should be chastised by their decisions to join the U.S. military when they was in such an egregious predicament. They just got out of an egregious predicament to be put in, honestly, damn near, I don't want to say a worse one, but shit, not too much better. And you want me to sit up here and chastise my ancestors for some of their decisions they made. Man, y'all got me messed up. Okay, we standing on that BA business over here. I'm not mad. I'm sorry. We're not doing that. Okay, y'all just gonna have to be all right. Y'all just gonna have to be all right. Read up on history, man, because y'all had an egregious history, but we had worse. Ours was 10 times worse, baby. We had a double-edged sword to deal with. Okay, it is what it is. A lot of your tribes in it. It's funny because some of these same people want to make excuses for the 5 civilized tribes. Oh, well, the 5 civilized tribes, the only reason they assimilated and they agreed to the treaties was because, they were dying off because of the diseases that the Europeans brought. And I don't know if y'all seen that movie. What is it? What is that joint called? Killers of the Flower Moon. But that movie was very telling. It was very telling. Very telling. It was very telling. Now, I seen a lot of, let me say this. I didn't see any backlash for that movie, which means that it must have been some shit in there that y'all supported or some actual truth that y'all wasn't mad at being shown. And within that movie, it basically showed how one of their tribes was taken over by Robert De Niro, the colonizers, Robert De Niro being one of them, and Leonardo DiCaprio, and how they married their way in to these tribes and then slowly killed all family members so they could take over the wealth and take over the land. And I'm just sitting here as I'm watching that movie, I'm like, how the fuck did you not realize that it was these crackers that was killing y'all off? Like, there's like no other. It doesn't make sense for it to be any other thing. The way that her family members was dying, I don't know if y'all seen that. Y'all should. You go watch it. I suggest y'all go watch that fucking movie. Go watch it, please. Learn you something. Because apparently they're fine with it. But I'm like, if this really happened the way that y'all trying to portray it to happen like it was in this movie, this was egregious. This was low-key a level of self-hatred, a self-loathing within yourself, a giving up. At that point, this wasn't just no damn, y'all trying to make all these weak ass excuses for these civilized tribes. And I'm like, yo, they just sound like they was this look cowardice to me. Y'all just let these crackers come in and take over. Like, for real. That's all he had to do was marry you and then kill off your family members, and that's it? And you ain't got no fight back, and I don't even think she realized it until after, like, damn near everybody in her family is gone. She don't even realize that she's damn near on her deathbed. Don't she die in the movie? Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Do she die in the movie? I think in the end she ended up suing or something at the end, if I'm not mistaken. I forgot how it ended. But most of her family died, and they almost killed her ass, if not killed her. So I'm like, if that's the way that y'all trying to say this happened, bruh, nah. I'm sorry. If y'all gonna take sympathy away or take the empathy away from the Buffalo soldiers, I'm gonna take my empathy away from the fucking 5 civilized tribes. Yeah. It's giving y'all just let them niggas come in and infiltrate. It's giving y'all was already having some disunification. Y'all was already having issues of your own, and that's why they was easily found their way in, which is true to a degree for most Aboriginals. Let me say that for Black people. That's how they dominated globally. But I'm saying, we're not about it. Like, y'all can't pick and choose. Y'all can't pick and choose when y'all want to, have sympathy for ancestors or have sympathy for certain parts of history. Like, it is what it is. I'm not going on my ancestors for that. I'm sorry. Shout out to the Buffalo soldiers, man. They did what they had to do. And they sacrificed and they fought for us to be here. So it is what it is, man. Like, I mean, seriously, I'm not rocking with it. ZZ, can you imagine a Buffalo Soldiers movie? A Buffalo Soldiers movie would be crazy. Ryan Coogler, I hope he's paying attention. I hope Ryan Coogler is paying attention, because if Ryan Coogler make a Buffalo Soldiers movie, I know that shit will be fire. I know it will be fire. He gonna have a fire cast. He gonna have a fire script. I know that will be amazing. I would line up to go see that movie. I know it will be good. It will be phenomenal for sure. So yeah, I hope he's paying attention. And even other black directors, you know, what's his name? Spike Lee got one called The Five Bloods. That's on a part of what part of the military was that movie on? But that was surrounded around black Americans in the military as well. That movie, The Five Bloods. Actually, have I seen that? I don't think I've actually watched that, but I've heard very great reviews about that. Yeah, let me know in the comments if y'all seen that. But for sure, you know, Spike Lee, somebody, black director, y'all pay attention. Because this is the type of stuff I love to see. You know, this is the type of movies that we need to bring this to the forefront of, you know, when we talk about historical movies. Whenever they want to do historical movies with black people, they want to put it back in slavery. Okay. Which I'm not mad at, because we do need to shine a light on that. That's a part of our history. But let's switch it up. Let's get more diverse in the parts of our history that we're, you know what I'm saying? We got 400 plus years on this of history dealing with these colonizers. We can talk about it. We can go before they got here too. Look, we can talk about them too. Y'all gonna make some movies about them too. But if we're just gonna keep talking about recent history or the last 400 years, there's a lot of different parts outside of just Jim Crow, because that's pretty much it. You go slavery, and then you go not Jim Crow, you go civil rights. Those are the main sort of movies we get. We either getting Malcolm and Martin, or we getting, you know, Kunta Kinte. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, there's so much history in between there that we can shine a light on. I would love to see a Buffalo Soldiers movie. Okay, I would love to see it. Okay, absolutely. He was a Buffalo soldier in the heart of America. Hey, in the heart of Africa. Hey, and they brought to America. Hey. Okay, so yeah, I would love a Buffalo Soldiers movie. I love to see it. Shout out to Beyonce, man. She's standing on NBA business. People trying to call her a damn fascist and all types of weird shit. Y'all are tripping, man. I'm with showing our shining light on our history, every part of it, even the more egregious ones other people think it's more egregious. I am cool with it. It is what it is, man. That's our history. Those are our ancestors. We did what we had to do to survive, and nigga, we made it. So yeah, shout out to them, for real. Shout out to the ancestors. We used to have a lot of historic movies. Yeah. It's just called Buffalo Soldiers. It had Danny Glover. Oh, it's a movie called Buffalo Soldiers? It's a movie called, let me look that up. For real, but look, I'm gonna watch it. Buffalo Soldiers. Danny Glover's in it? Okay. Danny Glover. Hold on, let me see. I don't know if I heard that. Let me see. When did it come out? It say 1997. This one say 2001, but it's a white boy on the front of it. I don't think that's it. You said Danny Glover? Let me look up Danny Glover. Let's see. Oh, Buffalo Soldiers. There is one. It's from 1997. The all-black U.S. Cavalry Troop H pursues Apache warrior Victorio while dealing with racial bigotry and myths about their designated enemies. Okay, exactly. I'm gonna watch that. Let me screenshot this. I'm gonna take a picture of it, because I'm not gonna see this shit if something on my computer. But I'm gonna take a picture of it so I can remember to watch that. I'm gonna turn that on one day for sure. That's all right. But I will look. That's from 1997. Now that's from like 30 years ago. So I would like an updated version. That would be cool. That would actually be pretty cool. Honestly, that Redskin logo always looked like a black man to me. ZZ Kim, I don't know. That's why I stay with the Washington Redskins. That's why I will stay. I will still say Washington Redskins. Oh, yeah, you know, but a lot of DC natives still say Redskins. Man, the Commanders thinks it ain't really stuck yet. A lot of people still wear Redskins paraphernalia. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know, to get the land, I think this happened around the time Black Wall Street in Tulsa. They wanted to be white just like Hispanics. Those slave catching $5 natives can kick rocks. No, I'm dead. I'm for real. I'm sorry. I'm not feeling that. It's like it only takes a little bit, man. You only got to get them mad a little bit for that anti-blackness to come out. And that's why I'm like, y'all want to cover it up with all this. Oh, she's supporting genocide. Oh, she's a fascist. And they love to go the capitalist route. Oh, she's a billionaire. This is capitalism. This is that. It's like, I'm not trying to hear that. We keeping it black. Okay, baby, that's what's up. Shout out to her. Like, seriously. We love to see it. Shout out to these brothers too, actually. Let me just play this little. Do I want to play this clip? Am I going to get copyrighted? Like, I'm scared, man. They be copyrighting my ass all the time. There's always something. This British outrage, everything between. Do I want to play this clip? I feel like I'm gonna be alright if I play this clip. Yeah, I'm gonna play it. Shout out to brother Ben X. He posted this picture of him and Reza. Hold up, let me post this. Let me play this. He posted this picture of him and Reza. Okay, he's talking about the jabs. Okay, in the caption he said, "Years ago, I was mentioned by the ADL for warning the community about the jab following the teacher of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They called it a conspiracy. Well, looks like years later, the truth is coming out. Now, should the ADL apologize?" And he tagged them. Apologize like they make all the celebrities apologize when they say anything about the ooze, even when it's not hateful. Okay. Which they're not going to apologize. They never do. Brother Reza has been out on the front lines educating our community about the jab. Let's salute our brother for standing strong in the spite of slander. Absolutely. Shout out to brother Reza because he be standing on business. Okay, when it comes to that jab. He not playing. Okay. But look at this clip he posted.
Just autopsy series published to date. I know because
can I start that over?
I'm the senior author.
Nope.
Of all the deaths we examined, and we re-reviewed them. We had an adjudication committee. We had ways of arbitration deciding on did the vaccine cause death. The answer is, of these cases that came in for autopsy after vaccination, 73.9% of individuals, it was determined that the vaccine was the cause of death. First author is Holscher and colleagues. He's sitting right behind me.
And do you have any science to back up your opinion?
The best data are autopsies. So in the largest autopsy.
So yeah, the caption reads, autopsies have now proven that mRNA, also, aka the jab, shots are deadly. Nearly 74% of those tested shown it was the cause of death. Listen to Dr. McCullough at the recent Senate hearings, wishing you could undo the jab, reclaim your health with the ultimate spike detox from Wellness Company. Okay, cool. So they got the little the spike protein detox. But yeah, brother Reza, Dr. Christina Parks. I mean, a lot of brothers and sisters on the line have been saying this for a minute. That jab, and I remember specifically during the pandemic, and a little after when it was pushing the jab, and at the height of them pushing the jab, and a lot of these people were going to hospitals and dying. There was a lot of misreporting, and I remember specifically, I think I heard Reza specifically talking about this, if I'm not mistaken, but I remember him saying that they were misreporting what happened inside. You know what I'm saying? Why they was dying, like literally. They would come in there, they would get the jab, and people would be dying from it, and they would say it was a heart attack. They would say it's this. They would say it's a stroke. They would say it's anything but what it actually was, which was that damn jab. You know what I'm saying? So now, of course, which they love it, because it's always truth and lies. It's always truth in plain sight. It's always, that's what they go by the karmic laws. They always got to come back and tell you the truth at some point. So finally, they're telling you, like, yeah, actually the mRNA in the jabs was killing people. Yeah, it actually was affecting people's health. It actually was, and probably not only that, but there was many other things. It was affecting people's pregnancies, affecting people's eyesight, affecting people's what is it called? Cancer rates. It was affecting all types of health issues was coming from this. All types of stuff. And they were vehemently denying, like, no, it couldn't be that. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. No, it's, even though you're having all of these spikes and issues, these health issues right around the time people are getting it. It's no, it wasn't that. No, it's not that. No, it's not that. But now they're having to come out and tell people, like, yeah, well, actually it was. Yeah, well, actually autopsy showed that, yeah, many of these people died directly from the jab. Yeah, you know, but people like Reza, again, Dr. Katrina Parks. I did an interview with her. I don't know if y'all seen it. Actually, I did an interview with Dr. Christina Parks. That was the first strike I got on my channel, man. It's a badge of honor. Even though I'm not trying to lose my channel, I would be blown to shit if I lost it. But blood clots, thank you. Blood vessels, exactly. In the heart, exactly. But that was one of the first strikes I got on my channel because we were talking about the jab, and this was early on when they were trying to push the jab, and this was when they were heavily censoring people talking about the jab. So this is when even when you were giving your opinion on it, they would put like a little what was the little citation they would put at the bottom, like this isn't FDA approved information, it may be misinformation. They were slapping misinformation on anything. Matter of fact, Reason was a part of the misinformation dozen. Yeah. So it's like, yeah, it's funny how these white supremacists work, man. It's egregious outrage. This is why you gotta know who you're dealing with, man, because we've been told y'all, man, that shit is egregious. You should not be getting it. And I know people personally. I got family members, close family members that have taken that joint, you know, and I'm a little worried for them. You know, I bought some of them some things to detox, you know, because I'm like, please do your best, you know what I'm saying, to get that shit up out your system. But you know, some of them really didn't listen. Some people, and unfortunately, some of our people was in predicaments where they didn't want to lose their job. Some people it was travel. I think it was travel restrictions at some point, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, you know, some people felt like they really didn't have a choice but to get it. You know, some people didn't think it was that big of a deal. They thought it was just a regular jab or a regular vaccine, and it's not. It's not even really classified as a vaccine if we really want to go there. Again, go watch that interview I did with Dr. Skinner Parks. I put a clip on. I think I have a clip of it now on. I think I have it free on Patreon, if I'm not mistaken. I believe it's free on Patreon, and I think I got a clip of it like on Facebook or something, if I'm not mistaken. But I had to take it off YouTube though, because they strike me for it again for misinformation. So yeah, outrage, appreciate everything between. But yeah, man, shout out to those on the front lines that's been trying to speak truth to power on that, and they've been repressing or trying to label as people that was giving out misinformation. Absolutely egregious, outrage, everything between. Let me see. I think that's about it, actually. Yeah, that's all we got for tonight, baby. That's it. That's a wrap. I said I was gonna do a little less than an hour. We got up in here. We up in here. That's why a lot of these athletes that got was randomly passing out. Yeah, that too. I remember that. It was some birth defects as well. Some women who got pregnant who got the jab, and you know, yeah, some women lost children. Some women had birth defects with their child. Yeah, so I'm like, it's very, very dangerous that jab. Very much was. It was very dangerous that jab. What I think just do like that. I'm gonna start it off. Sorry. I don't know why it looks like that either. Too. I don't know when it turned blue. I guess they changed it. I never took that BS when I was playing football. I'm glad you didn't, because you might have had some problems, man. It's good, easy, beautiful queen. Hello, Rashad. How are you, darling? Let me get up off here, though. I do appreciate y'all tuning in for the realists. Y'all some real ones. Rocking with the realists. Please make sure y'all go follow me on my socials. Where's my little banners at? I be forgetting to throw those up there. Where they at? Damn, where my little banners at? Do I still got them? Damn. There they go. Make sure y'all follow me on Instagram. Follow me on X, please. I do appreciate you. You are appreciated in advance. Make sure y'all go follow For the Culture as well. Also go follow the A-Twins on Twitch. I know I told you I did Twitch. We just did another stream the other day. If you missed it, I'm sorry. But we was on the other day. We just did a little stream. But that wasn't planned though. So if you missed it, it really wasn't your fault either. We didn't promote it. It was kind of off the humbug. But yeah, make sure y'all follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter, follow me on TikTok. I'll be getting active up on there, okay? Follow the Patreon if you want exclusive content. Again, check out Patreon if you want to see some content that I couldn't put on YouTube as well. Some content up there is just I couldn't put on YouTube, so I put it on Patreon. And it's up there for free, you know, so you can watch it if you want to. If you missed out, especially that Dr. Christina Parks interview, y'all go check that out. And subscribe to the channel, share the video, like it, okay? Comment on it afterwards, help the girl out with the algorithm. You know they be hating on my life. Help me out. I appreciate you. Y'all from where wants rock with brothers. Okay. But I'm gonna see y'all on the next one. Shout out to the chat for Shard, Trade of God, FBA Strong, Marcus Moore. Why does your name say Trey something? You changed your what you call name? Your thing's supposed to say Marcus Moore. You'll just say that. Turian, Spirit of Justice, Nataro, I'm not sure to pronounce that. Crew Royalty. I appreciate y'all. Freedom. I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. Peace and be one.
We do not play but I green. You fuck with the team. Might find your West in the creek. We crossing our T's. We don't never miss it.